Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5. I'm told that this theme of trusting in God is actually what the first years are studying and trying to understand. And actually, it's an honor for all of us to share about that scripture and about the words trusting in God. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight. Yes, the word trusting in God, or the sentence trusting in God, has a very strong and powerful message to all of us. Especially, I say, for the associates that we are leading. We've had a lot of challenges. We've faced trials here and there. And also, I know some, for the young ones, okay, allow me to call you young ones today. Yes. So, we have been facing a lot of things, and we've been going a lot through difficult times. But one thing, every other person, juzi ama ni jana nilikuwa napitia status na most of the elders, nilitafuta bundles nikakisha nipitie status za elders. Most of them, especially the Christian Union members, had a status inasema, it has been God. Okay, that thing is very nice and very interesting. Why? Because it means, as long as he was in school, as long as he thinks he was working hard to remain here, he acknowledges that his success and whatever happened in his life is not because of his might, not because of his strength, not because of his power, but because of the power of the Lord. That's acknowledgeable. May the Lord bless you so much for acknowledging that He is the source of everything. Now, when you talk of the word trust, I know most of us have heard that word, trust. And it basically means having confidence and having security of whatever you are anticipating. You are very sure and you have limited risks. And there are many instances in the Bible that tells us of people who trusted in God. And one of them is Abraham. When you read about Abraham, the Bible refers to Abraham as the father of faith. And one thing that Abraham did, and it actually strikes and it actually makes us think more about this man, is that Abraham had no son for almost 100 years. And God provided a son for Abraham. And any other person will actually celebrate such a thing happening in their lives. They'll be so happy that they now have what they didn't have. And one thing that happened, God told Abraham to go and sacrifice that same son he got in old age. And by the way, wakati mwingine Mungu akituzungumzia, let me talk to men. We even don't have to tell the other gender, like Abraham. Abraham didn't tell Sarah what God told him. God told Abraham, go and sacrifice your son on the mountain. And I know if Abraham had decided to tell Sarah that he was going to sacrifice Isaac, ingekuwa chaos, ingekuwa chaotic, ingemuaffect sana Sarah. But then Abraham was so wise and he made sure that he did not tell Sarah what he was going to do. He even didn't tell Isaac what was going to happen. And they were going. So Isaac akaangalia akasema Buddha kuna kuni, pia kuna kisu, naona tunaenda. Lakini sioni tunaenda kuchinja nini. So just like any curious son, akamuuliza dad, I can see we have all the things that are required in the mountain, but then where is the sacrifice that we are going to offer to God? One thing that amazes me is how Abraham responded. Hakumwambia ni wewe, angemwambia ni wewe ingekuwa kukimbia. And I don't think Abraham was mkale. Anyway, so Abraham decided to tell him that we are just going, and I know the Lord shall provide. That's what he said. He actually knew exactly what was going to happen. The son was going to be slaughtered, and that would be the end of it all. But then, because supposed to kill my son. I trust him and I know he respects human life. And in one way or another, he cannot take away the life of my son, whom he provided. So he knew, as long as this God has told me I'm supposed to sacrifice my son, actually he's the one who is going to provide. Kufika huko, and Abraham, I want to put myself kwa viatu ya Abraham. Ingawa sijui ilikuwa size ngapi, but anyway. Being in Abraham's shoes, ingekuwa mimi, ningeamua kwamba kufikia naweza sema wacha niendelee kumpeleka huyu kijana wangu nimfikishe kwa mlima, but naweza rudi. Unaona, lakini Abraham ilifika kiwango cha kushika kisu na actually he was in the process of kumkata shingo. But then God came through at such point. Ilikuwa imefika mwisho kabisa. It was almost that time ya kumkata mtoto. God came through. Akamwambia, stop what you are doing and look hapo kando yako. And Abraham upinduka hivi akaangalia, there was a ram that was tied there. And then God told Abraham, do not harm your son, for I have provided. Now, one thing that strikes me about Abraham is that he knew that the Lord he was serving would actually provide even when he had said he was supposed to kill his own son. That's the kind of trust that existed. Another example of somebody that really trusted God in the Bible. Jesus Christ, that is now in the New Testament. Jesus Christ was going on his way with a multitude to a centurion. Now, on his way, there was this woman who had been bleeding for 12 years. 12 years. Now, having been bleeding for 12 years, alikuwa ni mtu wa aibu sana. Like kutoa damu sio kitu rahisi. It's not easy. You know, it's not easy. But this woman had been bleeding for 12 years. Alikuwa na mashida sana. The Bible records that she had spent almost everything she had trying to look for medication. But then when she heard that Jesus Christ of Nazareth was passing by, he didn't get a phone na kumpigia Yesu simu kumwambia utanipata nitakuwa hapo kwa barabara tutapatana na utaniponya. No. He just decided and he knew the trust that he had in Jesus. Now, how did she develop the trust in Jesus? She had heard what people had been saying about this Jesus, and she was so sure that in case she comes close to this Jesus and maybe just to touch the garments, angepona. That's what exactly drove her into going to look for Jesus. Amen. There were a lot of things that would prevent her from meeting Jesus. One of the things was the multitude. Najua juzi tulikuwa na mashujadi na president alikuja Kisii, and I don't want to say so much, but I don't think there is anybody who met him kwa hii congregation unless I don't know, but I don't think there is anybody who met him. Now that was the level where Jesus was. Alikuwa amefuatwa na watu wengi sana, and it was so difficult for this woman to go and meet Jesus. But because of the trust that he had, that Jesus was going to heal her, she pushed and touched the garments of Jesus. When you actually trust in Jesus, it will give you the push under any difficult circumstances to make sure that you meet Jesus. I want to imagine that when Jesus was in that multitude, many people walikuwa wanamguza wakitembea. But when this woman touched Jesus' garment, hakumguza mkono, inaweza kuguza mkono useme alikuwa na mkono so akasikia vibaya akacomment. No. Aliguzwa nguo. Na kuguzwa nguo, Yesu akasema, who has touched me? And Peter, like the kierere he was, akamwambia, Master, what kind of a question are you asking? But Jesus was so keen with what he was asking. Why? He explained to Peter and told Peter, I am asking. Why? Because some power just left me after the woman touched me. When you tie Jesus Christ with that kind of trust, he will notice that someone just touched me, and he will come into your situation and he will make sure you succeed, because we are serving a faithful God. That's the faithful God we serve. you can't afford to not trust him. You can't afford not to trust him. Now, some of the characteristics of trust. There is someone who said that trust is like a ceramic plate. Once you drop it on a concrete floor, what happens? It breaks. When you try mending that plate, it says you want to bring back the trust. You see? Bring back the trust. Jaribu to mend that plate. Will you get the original plate that you had? No. So trust, in one way or another, we just have one chance to build our trust. Just have one chance. And once that chance is wasted, we may never get any other chance to build that trust. But one thing I want to appreciate God with. God trusted human beings with the ability to make decisions for their own. That's why he created Adam and Eve and placed them in the Garden of Eden. The same garden that had the forbidden fruit. But God trusted them and just gave them commands. Don't eat the fruit in the middle of the garden. And so Eve akacheza kama yeye. Kaenda akaongea na nyoka, ndogo kidogo akaonyeshwa tunda, akaambiwa ni nzuri. Sasa akakuja akamwonyesha bwana yake, Adam, this fruit is sweet, let's take. And they ate. Acheza tu kama yeye kabisa. Wakakula. And in that circumstance, God lost the trust that he had in human beings. That's why the Bible explains that since then, sin entered the world. Na kukawa na kifo. That takes me to another parable that Jesus was giving his disciples. He told them, it's so difficult for a camel to enter through an eye of a needle. But then he proceeded and said, it will be difficult in the eyes of men, but with God, nothing is difficult. I just showed you how it's very difficult to build trust again. But to God, that was not difficult. Okay, it was very difficult. Why? Because he had to later offer his son, his only begotten son, Jesus Christ, to die on the cross as a cementing factor of mending the trust that existed between human beings and God. And God gave us a way of us mending that trust that he had in us. He said, whoever believes in me shall not perish, but have everlasting life. Now, I want to thank God that you people are Christians, and most of us have believed in the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. And in the process, the trust that was lost through our forefathers has been reclaimed. Now, it is our responsibility as Christians to ensure that we always keep the trust growing. We never go back. We never go back to the circumstances and the situations that our forefathers had taken us into, so that we may remain friendly to God and we may remain in God's presence. Tukijaribu kwa uwezo wetu kujifanya kwamba sisi ni watakatifu, tutashindwa. Hatutaweza. Lakini tukimtumaini Mungu and we trust fully in Jesus Christ. We trust in the blood that was shed in Calvary. Believe you me, God is trusting you again. Now, trust also has a factor of vulnerability. What is vulnerability? Vulnerability is feeling that you are not well sustained. You are vulnerable. Like something can happen and it will affect you. You are vulnerable. And so, for you to develop trust, there has to exist that feeling of being vulnerable. We may not know what our tomorrow holds for us. And so, we are vulnerable. A week or two before Corona came, the elders committee were planning for an elders night, and there was a date. It was supposed to happen. But being the vulnerable people we are, we didn't know what was going to happen. A week or two just after that, and it happened. Na ikaisha hivyo. God has made it a common thing for human beings to be vulnerable in this manner. He created us and He made us come to this world, but He never told us the day that we are going to live. Even hata hakutuambia how we are going to live. Hakutuambia when, how, and what will happen that day. That's enough to make you feel and to make you understand that you are vulnerable. Now, because you are vulnerable, when you know that your tomorrow is in the hands of the Lord, you will not fear what is going to happen. Why? Because you know your tomorrow is in peaceful and a secure place when you trust in the Lord. Bwana asifiwe. Another person that really pleases me is Paul. It's very easy for people to trust in God when everything is smooth in life. When they feel everything is going on well, it's very easy for them to trust in God. But the moment things turn haywire and things do not go the way they had planned, the trust that they had in God tries to fades away. Now, let me give you a short story of a boy and a father. They were crossing a bridge. Hii bridge inakaa ile ilikuwa inafanana na ile ya Grusha. I think I'm speaking to the associates a lot. Ilikuwa inafanana na ya Grusha. Unakumbuka that bridge? Unakumbuka hiyo bridge? Watawauliza baadaye na mtawaeleza ilikuwa inakaaje. Now as they were crossing the bridge, before walipofika katikati, kijana akakataa kutembea na baba yake. Akamwambia walikuwa wameshikana mikono na baba. Sasa wakiwa wameshikana mikono na baba, mtoto ndiye alikuwa ameshika baba. Kufika katikati, akaona vile hiyo mto ilikuwa hapo chini, ilikuwa mbali sana. Kuona hivyo akaogopa, akamwambia dad, we are not going, hatuwezi endelea hivi. Akamwambia hapana, hatuwezi endelea hivi. Then dad akamuuliza mtoto, unataka tufanye aje? Akamwambia instead of me holding your hands, wewe shika yangu. Then dad akasikia, mtoto bwana anasema nini? Akamuuliza why? Mbona unasema isikuwe wewe ndio umeshika mkono wangu, ikuwe mimi ndio nimeshika mkono wako? And then this boy na mtoto wake akamjibu, mimi tunaweza tembea tufike huko, nianze kuogopa sana, then niachilie mkono wako, and that will be the end of everything. But wewe ukinishikilia mkono, hata tukifika huko, I know for sure that huwezi niachilia, and in that tutafika ngambo, tutavuka. And the dad was amazed. So this son really trusts. Are you getting that word? This son really trusts that if I am the one holding his hand, he is not going to fall. And that's how they walivuka hiyo daraja. That's exactly what's supposed to be happening for Christians. This world, I said, is full of uncertainties. We don't know what will happen tomorrow. But one thing, we can go to pick a kesho tupate kuna matatizo. If you allow God to hold your hand, and you fully trust Him, you fully trust Him, He will make sure that you come out of this life successful. You come out of this life a happy person. Let's appreciate the Lord for such. David, who was the second king in Israel after Saul, si Solomon alienda kuua Goliath, by the way, ni David. So there is this time David alikuwa ametumwa to the battlefield na baba yake kupeleka food kwa his brothers. Kufika huko akapata there is this Goliath, mtu mkubwa sana, na alikuwa anasumbua sana wana wa Israeli. And one thing David did, akasema I know I'm going to fight this uncircumcised enemy. In fact, those are the terms he used. I even don't know what he was fighting in that battle. But anyway. So David akasema, I'm going to conquer. And Saul akamuuliza, uko sure? Like, uko sure kabisa? Na you are that young. Na unaenda kupigana na that Goliath. David was so sure. Now, coming to the real battle. Goliath amekuja hapo na David anaenda from this other side. You see, one thing that Goliath said, alimwambia kijana, leo your flesh is eaten by the birds of the air and so forth, hiyo ku-intimidate and so forth, akamaliza. Then it came to David's turn, pia yeye kuzungumza. Alikuwa kijana mdogo, but alikuwa na sauti. Akasema, you are coming to me with javelin, with sword, with that huge body. But I come to you in the name of the Lord. And I am very sure, you see, hakuwa na hiyo shauku ati maybe the Lord shall. Alisema, I am very sure that today the power of the Lord of Israel shall be known all over the world because of what this God is going to do. Oh, yeah. And one thing I appreciate God about, hakutumia sword na javelin kumua Goliath. No, he just used the stones and the sling that David was carrying and directed that stone directly to hit where it was supposed to hit. Oh, yeah. And that's how Goliath died. What kind of trust that David had in the Lord he was having? Oh, yeah. That's the kind of trust you should have. Oh, yeah. Okay, let me make it contextual. Tumekaa nyumbani miezi 7. By the way, 7 ama 6? 7. And then you coming back. I hear today there was an exam. On Monday there will also be one. And sisemi msisome but so many. Ensure you read. By this basi ngumu kisoma. You may feel insufficient when you sit for that exam. You feel you cannot handle. Very difficult and you cannot handle. But one thing you should do, study hard and trust the Lord. That your exam is a good and a javelin, a sword, but you're going to face it in the name of one and when you have to face that exam in the name of the Lord, you just need to go with a pen, here on the sling, and maybe your exam card and student ID. Those are the swords that people may take for a Christian. Why? Because the Lord shall use the exact things that you have in conquering that Goliath. We are finishing, and I want us to conclude with another biblical story. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Do you know them? Yes, they were young men. The Bible tells me they were almost our age. Okay, I'm old. I think I'm older than Shadrach. Then Shadrach alikuwa 17 hapo 18 and I think I'm older than him. So alikuwa mtoto mdogo, younger than me. And it came that the king ordered everybody was supposed to worship an idol. And akasema, see, Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego walikuwa marafiki na the king, by the way. Hawakuwa na grudge, they were just good friends. And when that decree was made, Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego decided in their hearts that they were not going to bow down to any idol. And so the king akawaita akawambia, by the way, are you sure what you are saying? He said, yes, we are sure, we are not bowing down to any other idol. And the king ordered, wash a bottle 7 times the normal. Ndio hawa watu wajue kweli hii maisha si rahisi. So akawaita tena akawauliza, are you sure? Like, for real, very sure that you are not going to worship any other idol? And they said, no, we are not worshiping. Let it be known to you, O king, that we are not worshiping any other idol. We are serving the true and the living God. And that circumstance, king akaona hapa ni madharau. Yani hii moto yote nimewasha 7 times na bado hawabanduki, wanasema they are not worshiping any other God. And so he decided, warushe huko ndani. Vile walirusha huko ndani, okay, before that, one comment that he said, let it be known to you that even if the Lord that we serve is not going to save us, let it be known to you, O king, that we are not going to bow down to your idols. Inaitwa radical trust. In fact, inaongeza another term. Radical trust in the Lord. Why? You even know, even if he's not going to save you, because behind your mind you know he's powerful and he's going to save you. So you can afford to say proudly that even if he's not going to save save us, we are not bowing down to any other idol. For us Christians, let's strive to reach that level of trust in the Lord. That we can tell the world, we can tell whatever is happening in our lives, that let it be known to you all problem, let it be known to you all challenge, let it be known to you all whatever is happening. That even if my Lord, the one I serve, is not going to save me from these circumstances, I am not going to bow down to any other thing that is provided in this one. And you know what happened? God sent a fourth man into the fire, and hakuwachukua Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego out of the fire. He gave them peace inside the fire. That's what happens to people who have radical trust in God. He may not take us out of this world because there is corona, but for us Christians, He will give us peace to be in this world, and we will be happy. We'll be celebrating life inside the fire. Why? Because He is the fourth man that has joined us in the fire and is making us celebrate. You see, we are smiling even though watu wachache naona wakismile. Why? Because we are happy. The Lord is with us. Yes. Bwana asifiwe. Amen. Hebu tusimame kidogo. As we continue. What is our take home? I know most of us, we are young, and we could be depending on other people for provision. Some of us, we could be depending on our parents. Some of us have not even cleared this, and exam is inaendelea. Some of us are feeling so down for the 4th years. The associates, we could be feeling so anxious. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know where we are headed to. We don't have any Godfather. Let me tell you, when you have total trust in God, you may not have a Godfather, but you have God the Father. For people who trust in the Lord, associates, you want to go to God and tell God how you are not sure about your life. You just face that anxiety and tell that anxiety how big your God is. You trust God for provision, the way Abraham trusted God for provision on the mountain. Then Noah was told by God to build an ark. He was told, ungekuwa na mvua kubwa sana for 40 days and 40 nights, believable and may not happen. But then, because of the trust that Noah had in God, he built the ark. And that's how he saved his family members and other people. God could be speaking to you in some still voice, showing you visions of great things that might be happening in your life. But then, because you've looked in umeangalia Mungu and you don't trust Him, you feel such a thing cannot happen to you. The person of your size can find yourself in the person of your vision. Let me tell you, when you have total trust in God, you'll be like the 4 lepers. They just decided, we are going to the tents. And because we are going to the tents, we might be killed by the army that was in those tents. But then they trusted in God and said, if we live, we will enjoy the fruits thereof. Face your life and tell your life how big your God is.